Hello everyone, let me show you how to make this delicious orange cake. Here I have some eggs, sugar, I have some vegetable oil, I have some Greek yogurt, some orange zest, about 4 oranges, I have salt and baking powder, I have some vanilla extract, some softened butter, and some all-purpose flour. Let's jump straight into the recipe. So into my bowl, I went in with the softened butter, and I'm going to use this paper to grease my baking pan later. I went in with the sugar and the orange zest. I'm just going to use my spatula just to bring it together a bit before I start using my hand mixer. And of course, you could do this in a stand mixer if you have one, but I'll be using my handy dandy hand mixer today. It is, yeah, let's clean up. So I'm just going to go ahead and whisk this until it's light and fluffy and it has a pale color like this. Now I'm going to go ahead and add my vegetable oil and my yogurt. If you don't have yogurt on hand, you could add some sour cream to the mix, or you could add some mayonnaise. I will leave a full written measurement down below so you could go ahead and follow if you want to make this cake. Now I'm just going to go ahead and whisk this until it's fully incorporated. And you want to make sure that you go in with your spatula and scrape down the sides so everything can mix evenly. Now that's nice and fluffy. I'm going to go in with my eggs and I'm going to add the eggs one at a time until all of them is fully incorporated into the mix. And we don't really want to over mix the eggs. You just want to go ahead and just add them one at a time, and just as one is being in, you add the next one. Now in with the final egg, and we're going to beat it until it's fully incorporated. Now to the mix, I'm going in with my vanilla, and I'm going to go ahead and beat that in. Now I'm going to add my flour and the milk in alternative order until it's fully combined. We don't want to dump the flour all in at once. And I also add my baking powder and my salt. So we don't really want to use the mixer to overbeat the batter. So we're just going to mix until the flour is no longer visible. Then I'd add some milk, and then I'll add the flour again. You know, in alternative until everything is fully incorporated. And once the flour and the milk is fully incorporated, you want to stop using the beaters because we don't really want to develop the gluten in the flour. We want this cake to remain light and fluffy, and if you mix too much, it will become dense. And if you are not certain on what speed to beat on with the mixer, once you start adding the flour, you're going to use your spatula to do a cut and fold method. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I know how long to beat, so I'll just use the beaters, and once the flour and the milk is fully incorporated, then I'll go in with my spatula just to clean up around the edges and, yeah, mix in any extra flour that is on the sides. And it's super easy, and yeah, your cake batter is basically ready. Now we're going to go ahead and grease that loaf pan that we going to be baking this in, and I'll be using the butter paper that I reserved from the softened butter to grease my dish. But if you discard yours, you could go ahead and just use some softened butter or use some cooking spray if you know that your cake will stick. I know that this much will work for my baking dish and what I'm doing, so I just use the paper to grease it. And for extra security, you could just go ahead and dust this with a little bit of all-purpose flour to make sure that the cake slides out easy once it's done baking. So I'm just going to go ahead and pour my cake batter in, and I'm going to bake this at 325 degrees until a toothpick insert and comes out clean. You don't want to bake this on too high heat because it will start browning too quickly and the inside will still be raw. So you want to go ahead and bake this kind of low and slow. So 325 does the trick for me. So into my oven for about 40 minutes to an hour. After that baking time, this is what it's looking like, and it is smelling amazing. I'm going to set this aside to cool down while I made the glaze. So for the glaze here, I have some powdered sugar, and I'm going to go in with some vanilla. I'll be using the white vanilla here, but feel free to use your brown vanilla. Then I'm going to go ahead and add the orange juice of the orange that I zested before. So I'm just going to use this. We're going to squeeze it into a container. That way we could add our orange juice in small amount, because then you could decide the consistency that you want your glaze to be. So here I am just squeezing the juice from the orange, and I'll be using it in small amounts. And to add a little bit more orangey flavor, I'm going to go ahead and zest a whole orange into my frosting, and just to take home that orangey goodness, and it is smelling amazing at this point. Now I'm going to go ahead and add the orange juice in small amount until I achieve the consistency I'm looking for. So if you want a thicker consistency, you'd use less of the orange juice. And if you want a more runnier consistency, you could go ahead and add more orange juice to your mix. I want my one to be slightly thick and slightly runny. I just want it to be able to pour over the top of my cake. And this is the consistency I'm looking for, and it is ready to go on top of my cold cake. So you're just going to go ahead and drizzle it on top of the cake, no particular order. You don't have to be fancy with this. It is rustic and it is super delicious. Guys, if you haven't yet followed, subscribe or like my page, go ahead, hit the subscription button, turn on the post notification bell so you'll be notified every time I upload a new video, and also share this video. I highly appreciate it. And let me tell you guys, this was so good, better than any store-bought orange loaf or lemon pound cake or whatever you want to call it. But guys, let's show you what it's looking like on the inside. So I went in and cut it. Yeah, don't watch me with this little knife struggling here. I had a bigger knife, but this one is super sharp and it's my handy dandy little knife. So I went in and I cut a couple slices, and let me tell you, the cake was super soft, moist and flavorful. You could taste the orange coming through. It is soft, buttery, and all of the above. Now guys, if you get to trying this recipe, comment down below and let me know what you think about it. Yeah guys, yeah, and that's it. Thank you so very much for watching. Until then, I'll see you in my next one. Have a good day and enjoy.